There is something happening around you that you may not have fully noticed yet. The way people look at you is changing. The way they speak to you, the way they respond to your presence, the way they seek you out or step aside when you enter a room. It is all shifting. And if you are an Aries, this shift is not accidental. It is the natural consequence of everything you have been becoming, quietly and without fanfare, over the past months and years. Today we are going to explore 8 specific situations that show you are being seen in a different way. Not because you demanded it, not because you changed your appearance or your title or your circumstances, but because you changed, and the world is finally catching up. Situation 1. The first situation that reveals how differently you are being seen involves the way people come to you for advice. This is not new for an Aries. You have always been the one people turned to when they needed someone to tell them the truth, to cut through the noise, to point out what everyone else was afraid to say. But the nature of the advice people are seeking from you now has changed. They are no longer asking you what to do. They are asking you how to feel, how to cope, how to find peace in the middle of chaos, how to keep going when everything seems to be falling apart. This shift is significant because it means people are no longer seeing you just as a warrior. They are seeing you as a healer. Not the kind that bandages wounds or prescribes remedies, but the kind that carries a calm so genuine that being in its presence is itself a form of medicine. You have earned this perception through years of living, through surviving things that others only read about, through walking into fires and coming out the other side not just intact but transformed. The people around you can feel that transformation. They can sense that you have been somewhere deep and returned with something valuable. And what they are really asking when they come to you with their questions and their worries is whether what you found in that deep place is available to them too. Your answer, spoken or unspoken, is always the same. Yes, yes it is. And that answer, delivered with the quiet authority of someone who knows it from experience rather than theory, is changing the way every person in your life relates to you. You are no longer just the strong one. You are the wise one. And there is a world of difference between the two. Situation 2. The second situation is more subtle, but no less telling. You have started noticing that people are more careful with their words around you. Not in a fearful way, not as though they are walking on eggshells, but in a respectful way. As though they have recognized that your time and attention are valuable, and that the words they choose should reflect that value. This may manifest as people apologizing more quickly when they say something thoughtless, as conversations becoming more thoughtful and less casual, as certain individuals who once dominated every exchange with you suddenly becoming more balanced, more willing to listen, more interested in what you have to say than in what they want to say next. This change in how others communicate with you is a mirror. It reflects back to you the changes that have happened inside. When you began to value your own time and attention more highly, when you stopped tolerating careless words and empty conversations, when you started choosing quality over quantity in every interaction, the people around you felt it. They adjusted. Not because you lectured them or demanded respect, but because the energy you carry now is different. It is quieter, yes, but it is also denser, more substantial, more worthy of attention. And people, whether they are conscious of it or not, always respond to the energy of the person in front of them. When that energy says, "I value myself," the world has no choice but to agree. Situation 3. The third situation that shows you are being seen differently is the way younger people relate to you. If you have children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, or simply younger people in your orbit, you may have noticed a shift in how they approach you. Where once there may have been distance, or the polite disinterest that youth often shows toward age, there is now something closer to curiosity, to genuine interest, to a quiet seeking of something they cannot quite articulate but know you possess. This is because the younger people in your life are beginning to sense the depth you carry. In a world that values speed and novelty and surface-level engagement, you represent something increasingly rare: substance. You have stories that were not curated for social media. You have wisdom that was not borrowed from a podcast. You have a presence that was not manufactured but earned, year by year, through the patient, unglamorous work of being alive. And the younger generation, despite what many believe about them, is hungry for exactly this. They are overwhelmed by information and starving for wisdom. They are drowning in connection and desperate for genuinely authentic presence. And when they look at you, when they really look, they see someone who has what they are searching for. Someone who has navigated the complexities of a long life and emerged not bitter but tender, not hardened but open, not diminished but expanded. You are becoming, perhaps without knowing it, a kind of lighthouse for the people coming behind you. Not telling them where to go, but showing them that it is possible to get through the storms and still have something beautiful to show for it. That kind of influence is not something you can create on purpose. It is something that emerges naturally when a life is lived with integrity. And your life, for all its imperfections and detours and moments of doubt, has been lived with exactly that. Situation 4. The fourth situation involves how you are perceived in professional or practical settings. Whether you are still working, volunteering, managing a household, or simply navigating the daily business of life, the people you interact with in these practical settings are treating you with a new kind of deference. Not the patronizing kind that sometimes gets directed at people of a certain age. Not the dismissive kindness that says, "Let me help you because you cannot help yourself." This is genuine respect. The kind that says, "I see your competence. I see your experience. I see that you bring something to this situation that I do not have." This shift may be showing up in small ways. A clerk who gives you extra time and attention. A professional who takes your questions seriously instead of brushing them off. A colleague or fellow volunteer who specifically seeks out your input before making a decision. These moments may seem insignificant on their own, but together they paint a picture. The picture of someone who is no longer being seen through the lens of age or appearance alone, but through the lens of accumulated wisdom and quiet authority. You have spent your whole life building this authority. Every problem you solved, every crisis you navigated, every relationship you maintained through difficulty, every time you showed up when showing up was hard. All of it has been depositing into an account of credibility that is now paying dividends in the form of genuine, unforced respect from the people around you. Situation 5. The fifth situation is one that may touch your heart more deeply than the others. Someone in your life, perhaps someone you have known for a long time, perhaps someone you never expected it from, has recently shown you a level of affection or appreciation that caught you off guard. A phone call that went longer than usual. A letter that said things you did not know the other person felt. A gesture of kindness that was not prompted by obligation or occasion but by something more sincere. The simple desire to let you know that you matter. This moment, however it came, was not random. It was a reflection of the energy you have been putting into the world. For years, you have been showing up for people without keeping score. You have been generous without advertising your generosity. You have been present without demanding recognition for your presence. And now the returns on that investment are beginning to arrive. Not as transactions, not as repayments, but as genuine expressions of love from people who have been watching you all along and finally felt moved to say what they have been thinking. Situation 6. The sixth situation that reveals how differently you are being seen has to do with boundaries, and specifically how people respond when you set them. In the past, setting a boundary often led to conflict, to arguments, to people pushing back against your limits and testing whether you would hold firm. But lately, something has changed. When you say no now, people accept it. Not with resentment or passive aggression, but with a kind of quiet understanding. As if they expected it. As if they already knew before they even asked, that you would protect your peace and that this was not only acceptable but admirable. This change in how others respond to your boundaries is one of the clearest signs that you are being seen in a new light. It means that the people around you have come to understand that your limits are not arbitrary or selfish. They are the borders of a well-tended garden. And nobody who truly respects a garden tries to trample its borders. They stand at the edge and admire what has grown inside. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Situation 7. The seventh situation involves strangers. People you have never met before, people you encounter in the ordinary course of your day, are responding to you differently than they used to. Maybe they hold a door a little longer. Maybe they start a conversation when they normally would not. Maybe they smile with a warmth that feels genuine rather than obligatory. Maybe a stranger in a waiting room opens up to you about something personal. as though something about your presence made them feel safe enough to share. These interactions with strangers are fascinating because they strip away all context. These people do not know your history. They do not know your name. They do not know what you have been through or what you have accomplished. They are responding to pure energy, to the quality of your presence, to something in the way you carry yourself that communicates safety, warmth, wisdom, or strength without a single word being spoken. This is the result of every inner shift you have made, every boundary you set, every grudge you released, every moment of self-care you chose, every time you decided to show up as the person you are becoming rather than the person you used to be. All of that inner work has changed your external frequency, and people, even people who have no idea who you are, can feel it. They are drawn to it because it is rare. Because in a world full of noise and performance and carefully curated personas, the quiet authenticity you carry is like a glass of cold water in a desert. People are thirsty for it, and they recognize it instantly, even if they cannot name what it is they are recognizing. What they are recognizing is you, the real you, the you that has been emerging from behind the masks and the armor and the survival strategies, and that you, that real, unguarded, fully present you, is someone remarkable, someone who changes the atmosphere of any room they enter, someone whose very existence gives other people permission to be more fully themselves. That is the kind of influence that cannot be bought or manufactured or studied in a course. It can only be lived into, and you have been living into it one quiet day at a time for years. Situation 8. The eighth and final situation that shows you are being seen differently is perhaps the most important one of all. You are beginning to see yourself differently. For most of your life, the way you saw yourself lagged behind the way others saw you. They saw strength where you felt weakness. They saw courage where you felt fear. They saw wisdom where you felt confusion. There was always a gap between the external perception and the internal experience. But that gap is closing. Slowly, gently, the image you hold of yourself is beginning to align with the image others have been holding of you for years. You are starting to see what they see, not through their eyes but through your own. And what you see is not perfect, not flawless, not without struggle or uncertainty or doubt. But it is good. It is real. It is worthy. And it is, perhaps for the first time in a very long while, something you can look at without flinching. This inner recognition is the foundation upon which everything else is built. The respect others show you only lands if you believe you deserve it. The love others offer only nourishes if you allow yourself to receive it. The opportunities others bring only bear fruit if you are willing to reach for them. And all of that requires one thing: that you see in yourself what the world has been trying to show you for years. That you are valuable, that you are capable, that you have something to offer that no one else on this earth can provide, because it comes from the unique combination of experiences, scars, joys, and choices that make up the unrepeatable story of your life. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Everything we have walked through today, every situation, every shift in perception, every moment when the world revealed that it sees you differently, all of it points to one inescapable truth. You have changed. Not in the flashy, dramatic way that the world tends to celebrate, but in the deep, quiet, permanent way that only years of living can produce. The person you are today is not the person you were 10 years ago, and the person you are becoming is not the person you are today. You are in motion. You are evolving, and the world, whether it says so aloud or shows it through 1,000 small gestures, is taking notice. The question is not whether others see you differently. They do. The question is whether you are ready to believe it, to accept that the shifts you feel inside are real, to trust that the way people respond to you now is not flattery or coincidence but recognition. Recognition of a life well lived. Recognition of a soul that has been refined by fire and emerged not diminished but radiant. You are being seen, Aries, truly seen, and what people see when they look at you is someone extraordinary. Accept it, own it, and let it carry you into whatever comes next, with the full knowledge that you have earned every ounce of the respect and love that the world is finally learning to offer you. You have two options after this video: close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.